Hello everyone, welcome to KUAS Podcasts. My name is Maliszewski and I am the knitter, author, and also the designer to the blog Knitting Up a Storm. This is the third episode. Today is February 21st, I think. Maybe it's the 20th. It's been exactly a year and a day, I believe, since my last podcast. And that's mostly because my last laptop could not handle taking the recording and putting it into video form and uploading it. So I tried getting around it, but in the end we just had like this watermark because I couldn't use Windows Movie Maker Live. It just would not respond. So I finally have a new laptop and I am able to record again, so hopefully we could try to make this more regular than once a year. I have been knitting a lot. I feel like this blog is finally coming back to life after a little bit of an absence. Now I was posting a little bit, but this year and mostly last year it's really been coming back to life. So that's exciting, and I've actually published 2 patterns this month. The first pattern is to the Afghan called the Rippled Reading Afghan, and let me show you this. I'm sitting on it. Covering up my face so hopefully you can see it. It's full of eyelets and the colors progress. And then it's finished off with this nice lace border, ripples. So the whole idea to this was that in the center, which I almost changed to a button, but then decided against it because I've had it so many years this way, is almost like a pebble. If you can see, can you see? It's almost like a pebble. Now I just took my darning needle and just went around, I don't even know how many times, probably like 20 times, just to make like a little, almost like a knitted button. And then it's almost like you threw a pebble into a pond and then it just, you know, the water ripple effect. So you probably heard this, I don't even know how many times I've mentioned this on my blog. If you watch my, or read my blog, I have been knitting this since 2007. I was in college. It was the beginning of my blog, and you could tell the difference between the beginning of my blog and my blog nowadays because, one, you know, the camera obviously was not as good. Not to say that my camera is very expensive right now, but just technology then was a little different, so my pictures weren't as good. I used to use color for my font, which I'm not doing anymore because it's hard to read, and I'm just like not really that sort of person anymore to kind of jazz up my posts with all sorts of colors. What else? And also, when I was knitting this, I had nothing to do besides study, hang out with my what is my husband nowadays, because he went to the same college as me, hang out with him and watch endless episodes of Lost and Heroes and Smallville. So this entire time in 2007 I was knitting this to the show Lost, which I don't really care for the show anymore, but I had to finish the last of the edging to at least 1 episode because I felt like it should come full circle. Literally, full circle. Anyways, this took about 13-14 balls for the main body. The first ripple really goes until the green. Can you see the green? And then it starts changing colors, and as you increase, the colors are getting shorter because it takes so much more yarn in because there's so many stitches. It's the pie formula, so after so many rows it doubles in width, and then the amount of rows that you have to knit double. So it's a really easy pattern. You don't even really need to look at the pattern hardly any. So it's a good show knitter. But anyways, let's talk about something else. I don't think I've ever shown you live the sweater that I'm wearing. It's Ysolda's pumpkin ale sweater. I don't know if you can see this, but it has this nice cabling effect in the back, and then in the front it's just the simple garter stitch and stockinette, and there's shaping right here, so it is flattering, except for like now when I'm like right against the camera. Plus it adds 10 pounds, right? But anyways, the one thing that I don't like about this sweater is that it kind of drops further than I'd like. I don't know, it just feels weird. It feels like I feel the weight right here. I do wish I knit a few more rows in this garter. I didn't really block it, so I guess I could kind of remedy that a little bit by blocking it. But that I finished a couple months ago, I believe. It was right around Thanksgiving, so a few months ago. Okay, so I have twin boys. That's one of the reasons why this blog has kind of been on standstill a little bit until now. I feel like everything's coming back. Like I'm starting to compose and get more back into my music and blogging and knitting. The project that I finished recently are these Thrummed mittens. Let me find the ones. There's two different ones that I knit. I have a diagonal color and then a vertical coloring of rainbows. Rainbow, singular. Now I left off the purple spectrum because they're boys and I felt like I didn't want to get too feminine, although it probably would have been fine. They're 4 years old. These are going to be the warmest mittens they're ever going to own, as long as they don't lose them. The inside is filled with these fluffy rovings, which will felt with time. They're already starting to get a little natty. So every one of those color pieces are little bits of roving, and so when you stick your hand in there, it's like sticking your hands into a land of clouds, and it's just so warm. I knit 2 pairs, so I don't know if I'm going to get to mine anytime soon, or my husband's. I do have the yarn for ours. Mine was supposed to be the same color, but then I was going to do purples and heathery blues and stuff, and then my husband chose this charcoal gray, and I think I picked out green and like tan, something masculine for him. So that took about a week. Oh, I finished that cardigan, Miss Darcy cardigan, which maybe I should have worn that because I knit that sooner than this. I think that's about it for my recent finished projects. Everything's on my blog. I haven't skipped anything. Oh, maybe this might be helpful. When you're trying to do like for example these mittens, and you know that the color's changing, this is a little bit easier because it's vertical, but when it's diagonal, like with my distraction level, I wasn't going to be able to do that sort of coloring without some sort of charted patterning. So I actually went on Excel and made my own little chart. Now I consider this chart a little unconventional because I inserted the thumb in the middle. It's actually kind of cute because there's the heart, and like the little thrums look like hearts. Let's do this real close. They look like little hearts, so it was kind of cute for Valentine's Day. This was their Valentine's Day gift. I even did the ribbing. So when you're a distracted person, it might be nice to do something like this so that you go and check off which rows that you did, and the color won't get messed up, and both of the mittens will come out the same size. Although, I have to tell you, I finally learned the magic loop method. I don't know what took me so long, but I really feel like I'm finishing more objects because I'm knitting them both at the same time, and they're both getting finished and they're not getting orphaned. And as you know, if you read my blog, that I am like the #1 leading mitten and sock orphaner probably in the world. Like, I have a ton of things that don't have their mate because I took so long to do the first one that I was not really wanting to start the second one. So I finally learned Magic Loop, where you under one circular needle. You knit the same two objects and they come out the same length, and I feel like it's a little bit faster because you're going zoom, 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 and I don't know, I just feel like things get finished a lot faster than had I started it separately and done them back to back. But anyways, once in a while I will get requests for me to finally publish a pattern that I had out, like that I said that I would publish and then I haven't published because I got so busy with my kids or whatever happened. One of the patterns that I am currently reworking is the office socks. I don't have a picture with me, but it's a triangular patterning with purl stitches, and it's just a nice sock that works well for women or men. It's really the color of your yarn that really decides which gender should take the sock. Now this is a really bad example, especially on camera, to show you. I went in and chose the worst type of colorway, pretty much, that you could choose for this pattern, because you know that when you do like cables and really anything that has like texture, like nitpicky texture, you should not use like a striped or a heavily colored colorway. You should choose something that's either solid or semi-solid. So I chose this just to see what it would look like in this pattern. Now I think there's enough natural light so that you can see it. I don't know if you can see the triangles. They're not triangles, sorry. I don't know my shapes. They're diamonds. Sorry, they're diamonds. So I got this far, but I was going to rework it because, one, I wanted to make sure everything was perfect in the pattern before I release it, and two, I wanted to have an example of what it would look like if you happen to choose like a really heavily striped colorway. Like this is, you know, orange and kind of like a tealy blue plus browns. I mean, it's just really heavy for trying to see this detail here, but I could kind of see it. So it's kind of cool because it's like, oh, it's these colors and stockinette. Wait, no, it's not. There's some texture there. Anyways, so that's what I've been up to. Other news besides knitting, although I don't know if you want to hear it because he came here for knitting. Like I'm a piano teacher by evening. I shouldn't say day because I teach in the evening. And so I've been getting more into composing and practicing more now that my kids are 4. I actually sent my resume into a church so that I could be their regular accompanist, and I actually got a call back and they'd like to meet me stat, pretty much. They said, we'd like to meet you as soon as possible. They've been out a regular accompanist for probably about half a year now. I've been subbing for them, and so I felt like they kind of know me, so if you like me, like what I've been doing, because I helped them out all Christmas season and a little bit in the fall, and I'm going to be doing something in March. So it's kind of scary because I haven't, like, I had to drag up my resume and try to figure out what I need to delete, what I need to add, and it's been so many years since I've put myself out there because, you know, I work for myself. I've worked my, you know, even for knitting and selling my patterns, I work for myself. So this is kind of a scary but exciting process. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. If I don't get it, I don't get it. I just feel like I'm going to do what I do eventually. So if this isn't the place, this isn't the place. But I don't know, it's kind of exciting. Like, I kind of feel like I have too many alter egos. Like, I'm the mother, I'm the pianist, I'm the teacher, I'm the designer. Kind of feel all over the place, so it's kind of interesting to see where my life is going now that I'm getting older, because, you know, when you're in college, you know, when you first met me in college with this blog, I had a totally different idea of who I am, what I was going to do with my life. So, so this is exciting stuff. But yeah, I think I've run out of stuff to tell you for today. I mean, we got done preschool shopping. That was kind of a crazy experience. Last year when we chose our preschool, we were very secure in our thought of what it would be, and we were not quite as happy as we'd like to be at the place that they're currently at. So when it was time to actually start signing up the kids for preschool for this coming year, we were frantically looking around and trying to make sure that we weren't going to make the same mistakes, ask better questions. Unfortunately, this place that we're going to this coming year is going to be a lot more expensive, so this is another reason why I was trying to get a secondary job, because it was going to be a lot more expensive for us, but I think we'll be happy. The problem is we're unincorporated, so basically everywhere we go and every activity that I sign my kids up for, it's going to cost a lot more than a resident. So we're also considering moving into a neighboring town. So those are things that are kind of back of my mind lately. So anyways, other news, I'm trying to resurrect old patterns that I was intending on publishing many years ago but never got around to doing it. So you'll probably see me publishing things in March and April, left and right hopefully. So that's exciting news. Anyways, take care, and I will get back to you later with episode 4. Bye.